Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by golden fields, there lived a hardworking young man named Marco. Marco worked on the farm of Master Rowan, a strict landowner who owned many fields in the village. Every morning, Marco carried grain, repaired fences, cleaned tools, and worked until his body could barely stand. He never complained. But slowly, the work began to break him. One evening, Marco sat near the village well, exhausted and silent. A young woman named Lena saw him and asked, "Marco, why do you look so tired?" Marco sighed and said, "I think tomorrow I may ask Master Rowan for a lighter day. My body is tired. I only need a little rest." Lena felt sorry for him. But later, when Lena met Aunt Clara, she repeated Marco's words. She said, "Marco looks terrible. He said he cannot continue working like this." Aunt Clara gasped. "Is he leaving Master Rowan's farm?" Lena said, "I don't know. He only sounded tired." But the rumor had already begun. Aunt Clara soon met Boris, the vegetable trader. She told him, "Marco is unhappy at the farm. He says Master Rowan works him too hard." Boris loved dramatic news. By the time he repeated the story to Nico, the village messenger boy, Marco's words had changed again. Boris leaned close and said, "Nico, Marco is planning to leave the farm. He says Master Rowan is unfair and cruel." Nico's eyes widened. But no one had said that. Not Marco. Not Lena. Not even Aunt Clara. Still, the rumor kept moving. And every time it moved, it became heavier. Nico ran through the village and knocked on Master Rowan's door. "Master Rowan," he said, "I have urgent news." Master Rowan looked up from his papers. "What is it?" Nico swallowed and said, "Marco is planning to betray you. They say he will leave tomorrow and take other workers with him." Master Rowan's face hardened. "Betray me?" Nico nodded. "That is what I heard." In that moment, a tired worker's simple wish for rest became an accusation of betrayal. That night, Master Rowan went to Marco's small room. Marco was sitting beside a lantern, tired from the long day. "Master," Marco asked softly, "is something wrong?" Master Rowan looked at him coldly. Then he placed a cup on the table. "Drink this," he said. "You will need strength for tomorrow." Marco was confused. But he trusted his master. So he took the cup and drank. Master Rowan watched silently. Then he turned and left. That night, Marco lay weak in bed. The lantern burned low. Outside, the village was quiet. No one knew that a careless rumor had become more dangerous than anyone imagined. By morning, Marco was not in the fields. He was not carrying grain. He was not repairing fences. His body lay still, and no excuse in the world could bring him back. The truth was simple. Marco had never planned to betray anyone. He had never planned to leave. He had never spoken against Master Rowan. He only wanted one lighter day. One small rest. One moment to breathe. But his words had passed through careless mouths. Lena had changed them a little. Aunt Clara had added fear. Boris had added drama. Nico had carried the rumor like truth. And Master Rowan believed the lie without asking Marco himself. When the villagers realized what had happened, it was too late. Lena cried. "I never said he would betray anyone." Aunt Clara covered her face. "I only said he seemed unhappy." Boris looked down. "I only repeated what I heard." Nico whispered. "I thought the master should know." But excuses could not bring Marco back. In Marco's room, beside the dim lantern, lay his worn work gloves and a folded note. The note said, "I trusted the wrong ears with my tired heart." The villagers stood in silence. For the first time, they understood. Marco lost his life that night, not because of what he had done, but because of what others had said. That evening, old Matteo, the village elder, gathered everyone near the well. He held Marco's gloves and said, "A careless word can wound deeper than a sharp blade." Everyone lowered their heads. Old Matteo continued. Marco was tired. He needed rest. But his pain passed through careless mouths, and by the time it reached the master, it had become a lie. Then he said, "Not everyone who listens to your pain is worthy of carrying it. And not every story you hear is yours to repeat." Days passed. The fields continued to grow. The market continued to open. But Marco never returned. And every time the villagers passed his empty room, they remembered the young man who had only wanted one day of rest. So be careful who you trust with your thoughts. And before you repeat a story about someone else, ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Could it destroy someone's life? Guard your heart. Choose your listeners wisely. And remember, silence is often safer than careless speech. Subscribe to Moral Compass for more meaningful stories, powerful lessons, and wisdom that stays with you.